everyone, and welcome to episode 57 of the Knitty Heather podcast. My name is Heather, and I'm coming to you from Kent, Washington, up here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. This is my podcast where I talk about everything I am working on with knitting and a little bit of crochet, and I always love to share everything that I learn along the way. I also love to feature amazing makers, whether they are designers, project bag makers, accessory makers, pattern designers, anybody that adds to the beauty of our woolly world. If you are a new viewer, welcome. I am so happy you found me and I hope you enjoy yourself. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I truly appreciate it. If you would like to follow me, I am at Knitty Heather on Instagram, and I would love to connect with you on Instagram and see everything that you are working on. All of the patterns and yarn and accessories I talk about will be listed and linked in the description box below. Today is Sunday, March 5th, 2023, and I have a lot to tell you about, so let's get started. Today I am wearing the Caron Show by Casa Pinka. This was a mystery knit along, I believe the summer of 2020. I do believe is when she came out with this, August 2020. And it was a mystery shawl that came out with different clues every week. And so each section is totally different, has different stitch patterns and a different technique. It was so much fun to do. I used 4 colors. This white and blue, those are both knit picks, and this green is also knit pick stroll. And then this pink color is Audine Wools by Knit Crate in the colorway Peony. I'll try to get a shot of the whole scarf so you can see everything, but it has so many different details, so many fun stitch patterns to learn doing this. I highly recommend any design by Casa Pinka, especially her mystery knit-alongs. Check out Casa Pinka. She really has so many beautiful, I would say especially shawl patterns is her strength. She has a lot of really fun, innovative, and beautiful shawl patterns out there, among others. Check out Casa Pinka. This is a rectangular scarf that was knit flat. I had exactly the same number of stitches the whole way. It just changed stitch pattern and the color combinations, which was so much fun. I love patterns like this because they really keep your interest. This is the Caron Show by Casa Pinka. Now on to an older acquisition I would like to share with you. This yarn that I'm about to show you is from June of 2022 from the Broadway Club by Trilogy Yarn. The inspiration for this particular colorway was Moulin Rouge. That's kind of the playbill artwork for that show. And here is how she translated it into a beautiful skein of yarn. Look at all of those beautiful speckles and colors. This is on the plush sock base by Trilogy Yarns. It is an 80% merino, 10% nylon, and 10% cashmere, which makes it just so dreamy, so beautiful. I'm trying to decide what I want to do with this. I do think it would make a beautiful pair of socks, but I think it would also make a beautiful Musselburgh hat. Or maybe some fingerless mitts. Or maybe go with some other colors in a shawl. I can't quite decide what I would like to do with this. But this is an absolutely gorgeous colorway by Trilogy Yarn. She always has such fun colorways and such fun themes and different clubs that she likes to do from time to time. This is the Moulin Rouge colorway from her 2022 Broadway collection. Please check out trilogyyarn.com. Now on to my finished objects. The first finished object I would like to share with you this time is my February 2023 socks for Desert Vista Dye Works. I am participating in her 9th annual sock club, and here are my February socks. I did these toe up vanilla with a fish lips kiss heel. This colorway is called the rarest of them all, and it just had these beautiful 3 stripes, this purple, green, and blue. And I was able to find a purple mini from one of her mini collections, I think from back in February 2019, that I used for the toes, heels, and cuffs. I did a wedge toe, I did a fish lips kiss heel, and then about 10 rounds of 2x2 ribbing for the cuff. I absolutely love these colors together and am very excited to start wearing this pair of socks. This is a pair of vanilla socks knit toe up with a fish lips kiss heel in the colorway The Rarest of Them All by Desert Vista Dye Works. My next finished object is another pair of socks. I have 3 pairs of socks total to show you today that I've finished since we talked last. The second pair is from Yarnable. This was her January 2022 colorway called Bougie New Year. And I am knitting these for a friend of mine. I'm excited to gift them to her. The pattern I used was the Vanilla Socks on Magic Loop by Kay Litton, the Crazy Sock Lady. I knit these cuff down. I did about 16 rounds of 2x2 rib. I followed the heel flap and gusset that she calls for, and also the rounded toe that she calls for. I really think these socks knit up very interestingly with the coloring and the pooling. I think she's going to love them. I really, really hope that my friend will love this pair of socks. I hope they fit her nicely. I think they should. I did the smallest size given in the pattern because she has rather small feet. And I think they're just adorable. This is on her 8515 plush sock base. And it is really very nice to work with, and it washes super well. I wear other socks that I've knit out of the same base all the time, and I really, really love how they have worn over time. One more quick look at them. I have quite a bit of this yarn left, and so I think I'm going to pair it with another kind of lighter solid blue color for a striped share a pair of socks. So I think that might be the next thing I do with the leftovers I have of this yarn. I did make these relatively short. I did only do about 20 rounds down the leg, and then I did about 30 rounds down the foot after I decreased the gusset stitches. Hopefully I will get to see the friend I am gifting these to very shortly, and I can give them to her, and I hope she loves them. This is the Vanilla Socks on Magic Loop by Kay Litton, the Crazy Sock Lady, knit up in Bougie New Year by Hypnotic Yarn from her January 2022 Yarnable box. My last finished object is my third pair of socks. These are my Winterberry socks that I have been working on for a while. I call it that because that is the name of the colorway. This colorway is called Winterberry from Sweet Mountain Crafts, and the pattern I'm using is actually called the Times Square Socks by Mina Phillip. It's a gorgeous sort of mock cable pattern. I'll kind of turn it so you can see it a little bit better. Very, very pretty, and I really love how it looks on this solid yarn. This is a sock set from Sweet Mountain Crafts, and so this solid and the speckled mini came together. I did these cuff down. I did about 4 rounds of 2x2 rib with the contrasting mini, finished with another 11 rounds in the main color. And then I did a German short row heel in stockinette and a rounded toe. I really love how these turned out. This yarn felt really, really nice to work with, and I think it's going to be very strong. It was an 80/20 merino nylon base, and I really love the concept of doing a small little blip of color at the top of the cuff, as well as the fact that the speckled yarn is the contrast. Usually the speckled yarn might be the main color and then you get some solid contrasting, but I thought this sock set was very unique in that it had a beautifully tonal pink main color and then this fun speckled little mini for the contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs. This is the Times Square Socks by Mina Phillip, the Knitting Expat, knit up in the Winterberry Sock Set colorway by Sweet Mountain Crafts. Now on to my works in progress. My first work in progress I'd like to show you is my March pair of socks for the 9th annual Desert Vista Dye Works monthly sock club. I have it in my Sock Monkey bag by MLD Threads on Etsy. And I have my little collection of Desert Vista Dye Works buttons on it. And here is the progress on my first sock for the month so far. These are the Groovy Socks by Caron One. Very fun texture, kind of different pattern, but it really shows off a self-striping yarn like this beautifully. My Coyote Progress Keeper is from her 2022 prize pack for completing the 8th annual monthly sock club. And this colorway is called Coyote Wearing Socks. And this was the exclusive skein that I won for completing all 12 months last year. This is on her Tweety base, which is 84% superwash merino nylon, and then 16% cotton and acrylic neps, which give it that cool tweedy look. Here it is up close. I love these jewel tone colors. And then some bright yellows and oranges. So pretty, and I think this groovy sock pattern is looking really good with it. I'm only doing it across the front. The back is just plain stockinette. So here's what it looks like just in plain stockinette. I'm using 32-inch Chowgu red lace needles for magic loop. And I actually have worked up as many rows as I need for my foot. So the next step I need to do is mark for my afterthought heel. I would like to do an afterthought heel. And I'm kind of right in the middle of this blue stripe, so I will pick the yarn back up with the blue stripe to start the afterthought heel when I get back to that. I plan on continuing up the leg and then doing maybe about 10 to 15 rounds of 2x2 rib for the cuff. And then I will cast on the second sock. I do not plan on making these matte. So whenever I'm done with this first sock, I will just pick up the yarn where it ends up. And I think they're going to look fantastic. This is the Groovy Sock by Caron One, knit up in the 2022 exclusive skein from Desert Vista Dye Works called Coyote Wearing Socks. My next work in progress is the only other pair of socks I have on the needles at the moment, but I have made quite a bit of progress on it since last time I showed you. And so I wanted to let you know how I am coming on my Tarts and Vickers socks. Here they are. This is a beautiful self-striping colorway from Must Stash Yarn. This cute little chocolate cake progress keeper is from Susie J's on Etsy. I think it came in one of the Yarnable boxes at some point last year. I am doing these 2 at a time toe up on my Knitter's Pride Dreams 40-inch circular needles for magic loop. And I have it in my Lolo Did It Wizard of Oz bag. You can kind of see the poppies and all the characters in the poppy field on the inside lining. Love this bag. So this is a pair of vanilla socks, and I marked for where I'm going to do my afterthought heel, kind of right between this gray and white stripe. I think I have maybe about 10 to 15 more rounds I would like to do up the leg, and then I'll do about 10 to 15 rounds of 2x2 ribbing for the cuff. These are matching because this was a perfect match set. So the yarn was actually already broken into 2 equal 50-gram skeins. I just needed to make sure I started at the right color, at the same color on both half skeins. And they are matching up very beautifully. This was a Valentine's Day colorway I purchased a couple years ago. It's just so bright and happy. I really, really love it. This is a pair of vanilla socks knit 2 at a time toe up on magic loop in the colorway Tarts and Vickers by Must Stash Yarn. My next work in progress is my Musselburgh Hat by Isolde Teague, and I have made a lot of progress on that as well. I am housing it in my Retro Disney project bag from Bags by Awesome Granny. one of my absolute favorites. And here is what it is looking like so far. I'm so close. I think I only have maybe about 20 more rounds or so before I start the decreases. This cake donut progress keeper is from Sweet Cherry on Etsy. And the colorway I am using is called Born to Stand Out. This was the June 2022 colorway from Hypnotic Yarn in her Yarnable box. So this is on her 8515 plush sock base. Here it is. So I cast on with very few stitches at the end, and it's basically going to be a tube, and then I will stuff one end into the other to make the hat double thick. If you're not familiar with the Musselburgh hat, it's a wonderful and very well-fitting, very popular hat pattern. It is a lot of knitting because you are basically doing two hats, but it really is such a fun project. It is excellent Zoom or TV watching knitting. I am putting a light bulb stitch marker every 10 rounds just so that I can help myself count the rounds, because I know based on the first hat I made out of a similar base roughly how many rounds I need to do in the body of the hat before I start the decreases. My beginning of the round paw print marker is from Crystal Skies Hand Dyed, which has been very, very fun to use. I'm also using size 3 Chowgu red lace. These are fixed circular 16-inch needles. And then I will go to DPNs when it comes time to decrease the crown, when I have too few stitches that will fit on these circulars. But I'm loving how this yarn is knitting up. All of the speckles are dispersing very evenly. I don't see any wild pooling. This is such a pleasure to knit, and I'm already thinking about what skein of yarn I have in my stash that I might want to cast my next Musselburgh with. We will see. Let me know in the comments below, have you ever knit one of these before? And if so, what was your experience like? And did you do anything different? I know there's lots of creative things you can do with this pattern by doing about half of it in one color and the other half in a second color, or using self-striping, or totally making it scrappy. There's all kinds of fun things to do with this pattern. The other cool thing about this pattern is that you kind of just start knitting with whatever weight yarn. I think you can use up to worsted weight, maybe even larger than that. I'm not entirely sure. But you start with whatever weight yarn you're using and see how many stitches per inch you're getting, and then she'll tell you how many inches to knit in the body of the hat. It's really kind of awesome. This is a size adult medium that I'm working on. This is my second Musselburgh I have knit, and I absolutely love it. And I'm looking forward to having this off the needle so that I might get a chance to wear it a little bit while the weather is still kind of chilly up here. But if not, it will definitely be ready for next year. This will be for me. I definitely want this pretty pink Musselburgh hat. This is the Musselburgh Hat by Isolde Teague, knit up in Born to Stand Out by Hypnotic Yarn from her June 2022 Yarnable box. My next work in progress I would like to show you is another hat I have on the needles. This hat is going to be a birthday present for my niece's first birthday coming up next month. I'm very excited to be able to gift this to her, and I think I might have to start a tradition where I knit her a hat every year for her birthday. We'll see. We'll see if I can stick to that. I have it in my sheep project bag from April 9 Designs on Etsy. And I am using this cute sheep progress keeper from Bump on a Hill on Etsy as a zipper pull. So I am a part of the Love and Stitches membership hosted by Knitty Natty, and our goal in February was to learn something new. It wasn't a requirement, but it's something that, you know, we shared about and we had the opportunity to do and support each other with this last month. And so what I chose to try to learn that I hadn't done before is the tubular cast on. And I did for this hat. And look at how beautiful and professional that looks. I love this tubular cast on. And you know, with the cast on number for a baby hat, It really didn't take that long. It was a little bit tedious and I felt a little clumsy the first time doing it, but I really love the result and I definitely think I will be doing it again. Maybe not for every single hat or sleeve or neckline in a sweater, but I will use it again because I definitely do like the look. So this is just a basic ribbed baby hat. This pattern is by Heather Tucker. And I am using Caron 1 Pound worsted in this pretty green colorway. This confetti cake progress keeper in honor of her birthday is from Simply Serving on Etsy. And in this pattern, I will do 2x2 ribbing the whole way. And then she does give you instructions as you're decreasing for the crown how to maintain that 2x2 ribbing. I recently did this pattern for a coworker of mine and her grandson, and it turned out really, really nicely. I am doing the toddler size so that hopefully she can grow into it. And I hope she really, really loves this. This is going to be a very stretchy, nice hat that hopefully she can wear for a good long time into the future. This rose progress keeper that I'm using to mark the beginning of the round is from Knitty Witch on Etsy. I have quite a few more inches left to work up the 2x2 rib before I decrease for the crown, but I'm enjoying working on this and I am excited to finish it so that I can give this to her on her first birthday. I would definitely like to at least finish this hat, maybe even try getting another hat off the needles for her as well so that she has a little bit of a collection of hats for when she goes out on her stroller walks and things. This is the basic ribbed baby hat by Heather Tucker, knit up in Caron 1 Pound worsted. Next, I would like to show you another new cast on that I have gotten started since we last talked. I am starting to work on some dishcloths that I plan to gift my aunt and my cousin, who I have the pleasure of getting to visit next month over my spring break. So I thought some dishcloths might make for a nice hostess gift. I'm only started on the first one, but I have it in this cute dog project bag from Ryan's Marketplace on Etsy. And I have this cute little paw print progress keeper from Bump on a Hill on Etsy that I'm using as a zipper pull. So here's the first dishcloth so far. This cranberry orange scone progress keeper is from Simply Serving on Etsy. The yarn I'm using, this is Peaches and Cream in the colorway Bright Blue. And the pattern I'm following is the garter stitch diagonal dishcloth from themake-your-own-zone.com. This one I am doing without the holes, but there is another version where you do add little yarn over holes on the edge, and I will probably do another one in the set that way, but I've never done a dishcloth without the holes, so I thought it might be fun to do that. I'm using 24-inch Addi Turbo Lace needles for this, size 7, and it's working out really, really nicely. I think these will fly off the needles. I just need to buckle down and get them done. I'm planning to do 6 of them, 2 in this color, and then I have 2 other colors that will kind of go with it that I'm hoping to make sets of 3 dishcloths, one for my aunt and one for my cousin. But we'll see how I do. This would also be very good Zoom knitting when I'm on Zoom with my Love and Stitches friends. I absolutely love these knitted cotton dishcloths. I don't use them so much myself for washing dishes, but I do use them all the time for wiping down counters and just general cleaning. They work really, really nicely. I know dishcloths are very, very popular to knit, especially when you need just a quick little palette cleansing project. So drop down in the comments below, what is your favorite dishcloth pattern? I'd love to get some inspiration and hear what you like to knit for your dishcloths. This is the garter stitch diagonal dishcloth pattern from themake-your-own-zone.com, knit up in Peaches and Cream. My last project I would like to show you this episode is my Lamina Wrap. This is a pattern by Amba O'Brien, and it is one of those beautiful advent or minis or scraps projects that she has out. I have it in my beautiful butterfly project bag from Southern Sewn by Sharon on Etsy. And here is my progress so far. This rainbow cake progress keeper is from Simply Serving on Etsy. I'm using size 4 Chow red lace. I think these are a 47 inch actually. They're kind of way longer than I need, but that's okay. I am weaving my ends in as I go, so I just need to snip all these ends, which will be very nice. And it's just a beautiful lace pattern with little garter ridges in the main color. You use minis or an advent or scraps, whatever you want for each of these lace stripes, and then use one main color for the garter ridges in between. My main color is called Shenanigans. This was the March 2022 yarnable colorway from Hypnotic Yarn, and it's just a very, very nice cream color, but very lightly speckled with rainbow colors. And I thought it would go very, very nicely with the leftovers I have from the 2020 Advent I got from Hypnotic Yarn. This is the next color I will be adding to the wrap. This has been such a pleasure to knit. There isn't too much lace and it's pretty memorizable. And I really love how it looks. I cannot wait to add all the beautiful colors from this Advent set into this wrap. This is the Lamina Wrap by Amba O'Brien, knit up in different colors from Hypnotic Yarn. Well, I think that is about all I have for you this episode. Thank you so much for joining me and spending a little bit of time with me. I truly appreciate you watching. Please don't forget to like this video and consider subscribing. That would really mean a lot to me. And as always, let me know if you have any comments, questions, or feedback for the podcast. I always love hearing what you have to say. You are more than welcome to leave a comment down below or message me on Instagram. I am at Knitty Heather on Instagram and I would love to hear from you. But until next time, be well, be kind, and happy knitting. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.